Hey, everybody, it's the media junkie from the culture of pop. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing wonderful. I hope you're doing beautiful. I hope you're doing fantabulous. So we're going to do a new thing here now that I'm hoping to make a monthly feature. Starting out slow, guys, baby steps, but I'm hoping to make it a monthly feature, and it's going to be my Letterboxd, like what I've watched for the month. So, and I know other people have done this, but hey, I've been around on Letterboxd forever. Anyway, so I hope you'll enjoy it. We're going to do January now, but I didn't watch a ton in January. I'm desperately watching, like you'll see near the end of January or near the end of January, I'm starting to run out of things, and I'm watching like stuff that's been on my lists, like that I don't even look at, like on Max and Paramount and stuff like that. There's been stuff like that on there. So can I stay stuff like that some more? So let's get started out with December 25th. Because January is so poor, I'm going to start at the 25th of January. And on the 25th of January, on Christmas Day, I watched Venom: The Last Dance, which I thought was really good. And I thought it was, whether you like the Venom series or not, I know a lot of people don't like it. I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan. I'm actually more of a Venom fan. I like the character more because he's a little more brutal and a little more, violent. But I've always liked the Venom character when I was even in comic books. But yeah, so I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I thought it was a good way to give closure to the entire the trilogy, whatever you want to call it. The first one, the second one. Second one, not great. The Carnage one with Woody Harrelson. That's where it kind of lost its way, but I think it gained its way back in this one. And the way it gained its way back was with a whole lot more symbiotes. Symbiotes. I always forget. I get it mixed up with Cenobites from Hellraiser and symbiote, whatever. Anyway, I just loved it, and the ending of it was amazing. It was so good. Check it out if you like Spider-Man or Venom. The next one I watched was my daughter's movie, which was Gladiator 2, which I didn't think I was going to like. I really didn't. Because I was just like, I didn't even know who this guy was that was in it. I knew who Pedro Pascal was and all that stuff, but I wasn't a huge fan of the original Gladiator. I'm not one of those guys that sits around and thinks about Rome all the time. I'm just not. Never had any interest in it. Never had any interest in Gladiator times or anything like that. So, but I thought this was really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I did think it was really good. The acting, it's really good. Denzel's, of course, awesome. Really great. Pedro Pascal's good. This guy that played the main character, I can't think of his name right now, really good. Everybody was really good. The sets were actually amazing, of course. It looked the great time period. It was cool to see things like other things happening in the Colosseums, like when they did the battles, like the ship battles and stuff. You just got to see it. You got to see it. It's a pretty good movie. 4 out of 5. Then we watched Billy Joel: A Matter of Trust. You can see, you'll start to see, like, Wednesday is my daughter's night to watch a movie. Thursday is my night to watch a movie, and Friday is my son's night to watch a movie. So we each pick a movie, and you can't bitch about it. You can't moan. You can't complain. You got to watch the movie no matter what it is, unless it's something horrific that you don't want to have any part of, but we would never suggest that to each other. Anyhow, so that was my movie, was Billy Joel. My daughter's a big fan of Billy Joel, and I thought my son would like it because he's big into music, and he used to be a musician. So Billy Joel: Matter of Trust, I've seen this before. I thought it was great. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. It's a really good showcase on Billy Joel and how important it was for him to go and do this Russian thing at the time. And the concert is great. Him flipping out and tipping the piano and crushing the mic stand, still one of my favorite parts of this. But it's really good. Check it out if you can. I had to get this on Quello, I think. I did a 7-day trial on Quello just to watch this movie, and then I got rid of it. So anyway, that's about the only place you can find it. Next one was my son's pick, Piece by Piece. Didn't think I was going to like it. Not a Lego fan at all. Not one bit. Never have been. All my kids, my sons have played them, the video games with Legos, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I played with them, but I just wouldn't pick it out myself. And also, I didn't realize how deep back he went. I didn't realize. Let's look at it here. I'm just freaking out on the name here, and now I'm getting nervous. Who is it about again? This is terrible that I don't know this. I only know Pharrell. That's right. I didn't realize that Pharrell was in so much of history. Like he had parts in like the rap I listened to, in the 90s and to the early 2000s and stuff. So I didn't realize that, and it ended up being really amazing, full of some great music that I had no clue some of it he had any part in. It's a really fascinating story. He's a really cool, intelligent guy. And I just thought it was great. I was blown away. And it seems like my son a lot of times will put up a movie and I'm like, and then it'll just blow me away. It'll just be fascinating. 28th was actually my birthday also, by the way. 29th was the first nudie musical. Now, when I was a wee little boy in, the Showtime era, when Showtime was on, this first nudie musical used to come up on the TV guide all the time. We used to get a little program for Showtime, and you'd look at it and see what was going to be on. Then you could see if there was any times you could fit, naked movies in because 12 or 13 or whatever you are. And this was the one that I always wanted to watch. So I went back and I actually rewatched it as an adult with really no interest in the nudity. I mean, I could see nudity anywhere. But I ended up really liking it. I gave it a 3 out of 5. But then I realized when I wasn't, just so interested in the nudity when I was, 13 years old, that it actually is a pretty silly, funny movie. It's very vaudevillian jokes. It's very silly 70s jokes and 70s humor, but it is pretty good and it is pretty funny. It's not great, but it's better than just what it's named after, the first nudie musical, which I think is what attracted everybody. But it's a good 70s comedy. It really is. If you're looking back to look on I know a lot of people at the Grindhouse Sleaze Facebook group that I follow would dig this first nudie musical because it's kind of got that cultish kind of feeling. Joker, Folie à Deux, I gave 5 out of 5. We will discuss that later because I'm going to make a point on it, or I'm going to make a video on it. And I'm telling you now. Heretic, I thought was very good. I thought it had a lame ass ending. I thought that Hugh Grant was amazing. I thought he did a really, really good job. I thought the girls did good. It was creepy up until the very end. And then the very end just ended the way that I thought any like heretic religion type movie like this would end. It was just it disappointed me because I really thought I was going to love this movie. So I gave it 3.5 out of stars because everything else about it was good up until that last ending part. I was just like, this is disappointing. So, on the 29th, I watched Alien Romulus. This is 29th of December. Alien Romulus blew me away. I didn't expect anything out of it at all. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but I really didn't expect anything out of it. And I thought it was great. And when we got to see the end creature, I mean, I'm spoiler free here, man, but whoo, the end creature is amazing. He turns out to be like this half guardian, half what's she called? Xenomorph. It's hard, it's kind of a weird xenomorph guardian. If you saw Prometheus type, yeah, it just blew me away. And I thought the actress in it was wonderful. It's good. It fits in the alien core or the alien lore, as they say. Next one was 30th December, and yes, I did finally watch The Crow after all the complaining, all the bitching, and all the moaning I did after learning that the actual death of Eric Draven doesn't even take place till halfway through the movie. The actual revenge part doesn't take place till the last 20 minutes. I heard all of it. I didn't like what I heard. I didn't like the way he looked. I didn't like any of it. I hated it. You know what? I ended up liking it. I really did. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5. The reason I think I liked it was because I think that it needed, actually now that I've seen it, I think it needed that 45-minute build of their love and what their likes were and what their life was about. I really honestly think it needed that now that after I've seen it. I thought it was really well played. I haven't seen a Bill Skarsgård movie that I haven't liked yet. And I know he's just the it guy to most people, but he's doing some other great movies. Boy Kills World, check that out. That's psychotic and amazing all at once. So I ended up liking The Crow, guys. I'm sorry. The fight scenes at the end and all that stuff, great, amazing, awesome. It was just a different version. Even myself, I don't understand why I complained about this one so much when it first saw the trailer and why everybody else did, because we didn't complain about The Crow 2 or The Crow 3 or The Crow 4. I think it was up to 4. When you have all these different actors playing. I mean, I know it went straight to video, but this one shouldn't have went straight to video. This one should have been given a better chance. I'm sorry, it just should have. So that's all I'll say on The Crow. Then it was my daughter's time, of course, and Wicked was the pick. And I knew this was coming, and yeah. Does it have great sets? Yes, amazing. Does the quality of the cinematography look beautiful? Off the charts. Are the two actresses in it the best that they can be and sing the best that they can? Yes. It's beautiful. It's stunning. The problem is I don't like regular musicals. I'm more of a fan of Joker 2 than this, as far as the musical part of it. And with Joker 2 and this movie, the big parts of the movie are the musical part. So since this was just kind of a corny musical, and I never liked The Wizard of Oz anyway, I know it's kind of not supposed to have anything to do with that sort of whatever. I don't understand. But yeah, I did really get to a point where I was like, yeah, this is just the regular musical in a musical. And I just don't like that. So that was I gave it a 3 for the acting and for the beauty of the motion picture, everything. It was very well done. Next is one of my favorites of the year so far. Well, no, actually, I guess that would be last year. Because I did watch this with my kids. I finally showed my kids The Substance. I thought The Substance was amazing the first time I watched it, which was like the first weekend it came out. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Give this poor old man a little break. Yeah, we're unedited here. Sorry about your luck. Anyway, so The Substance, I loved Demi Moore's big comeback. I loved that Demi Moore made a comeback. I love Demi Moore. I have since I was a kid. But I mean, oh God, this movie, it took me everywhere. I'm not a big fan of body horror. I never have been, but man, this movie blew me out of the water with some of the stuff that it did, some of the effects. Just great. And I don't want to say too much about it because it is kind of a story you want to go into not really knowing anything. I mean, all I knew that it was a body horror movie, but you kind of want to know so you can get the message because there is a good message to it. So yes, The Substance, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Ghost Story, another son picked by my son that I didn't think I was going to like. It's just, I knew it was this movie where this ghost just stands around aimlessly, but it's not just that. There's a lot more to it than that. What I did know, and I hope I don't spoil it, what I didn't know is that once your person dies, that you stand around all the time and you're a ghost around all the time and you can't do anything about it. You can just watch their life go by. But once that mate of yours dies, you go on and see again, like it repeat in this story. I mean, it repeats everything from the house being built. You're still a ghost while you're watching, the settlers settle there and build the house and then go through the 20s, the 30s, whatever else they went through. I forget what all they did, but and then you watch everything, you rewatch it, and then at the end, it's a miracle ending. It's really cool. I thought it was really good. I thought I broke up a bit. I didn't like it that much. I gave it a 3 out of 5, but I did like what it was saying. But some of it, I think, for people will drag on. I really do. Next one is Reagan in January. I watched. I am a big Reagan fan. I grew up. It doesn't say anything about me politically, but I did grow up in the Reagan years, and I thought Reagan was a great president when I was a little kid. So I've always liked him. I thought he was a great president for the 80s, and that's all we needed him for. I mean, that's not all we needed him for, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it's a great movie. Dennis Quaid is amazing. All the other actors are amazing. Everybody in it is really good. And it's a really good story. And you see a lot of stuff that maybe you didn't know about behind the scenes, or maybe you didn't think about. And I thought that was really neat. So I enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I wish my dad was still alive, actually, because he would have loved this one. So yeah. Anyway, and then next I watched Smile 2. Why didn't we watch an Alex movie? Smile 2. All right, I watched Smile 2. I knew what it was. I knew what it was going to be. I even knew what the ending was, and I was disappointed at the end because I was like, oh, that's what the ending was. That was exactly what I thought, blah, 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 blah. So I was kind of disappointed. But then it actually ended up being halfway decent of a movie, like for the rest of the movie. It was fun. It was fun to be along with the actress that you were with. There was some horror stuff in it. There was, a few jump scares here and there, but the ending's disappointing. Another one where the ending just let it down. So I gave it 3 out of 5. Next one was one I was never going to watch, Y2K, even though I like, Kyle Mooney. But that Rachel Zegler's in it, that Rachel Zegler girl. And I'm just so irritated by her whole Snow White thing and all the nasty stuff she said. And I've been bred to hate her. So I didn't want to watch it. Actually, she was good in this. Actually, this movie was really good. And I would tell you right now, if you're a fan of Kevin Smith, then go see this movie. This is very much Jay and Silent Bob like, with Kyle Mooney kind of being the Jay and Silent Bob together. People running around the town trying to figure something out. Y2K has actually happened. And the kind of like, I don't know why nobody mentioned this, but it's exactly like, what was it? Maximum Overdrive, where all the, stuff takes control. That's what kind of happens in Y2K. So, but anyway, it ended up being good. It's good for a fun one. It's good to sit down and smoke a little and watch it, or drink a few beers, whatever you want to do. It's fun. It's a fun movie. It really is. And then I watched Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. Although I thought I was going to bawl like a little baby when this is over, I didn't. I guess there wasn't enough emphasis on what I loved him for me to do that. I don't know, but just about everything's here. His entire career, his acting, how his father thought of him, which he was a piece of shit, how his family life was, the brothers and his sons that look exactly identical to him. I mean, identical. The gene line must run very strong. And then they showed his half brother and he looked just like him. But he was a great man. What more can I say? I gave it 4 out of 5 because I guess at the end I wish there was a little bit more of the Superman oomph. But you got what you get, and it was still good, still great movie, and worth seeing definitely, especially if you're a Christopher Reeve Superman fan. Next one up is Jerry Springer Fights Camera Action, which was more of a 2-part series, not really a movie, but it basically was a movie that they just cut in 2 parts, and it was good. It was good for what it was. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 4 or 5. I lived through this whole generation and debacle of Jerry Springer and Jenny Jones and Ricky Lake and all that wild stuff that we had in the late 80s, early 90s. And I was always a Springer fan. I loved Springer. I thought he was hilarious. It was just, he was just funny. I don't know. I guess it was the time period. And I've always admired him kind of as an individual because he kind of just took a lot of crap and still went with it. And he had fun with his life. I gave it 3.5 out of 4 or 5. I'm sorry. Check it out. If you like Jerry Springer, check it out. If you don't like Jerry Springer, you don't know anything about him, I don't know if you like it as much. Maybe young kids will like it. Next one was Old Boy, which was my son's pick. He had never seen it. My daughter, of course, had never seen it. I had seen it, and I knew what was waiting for them, which was that special, awesome twist ending that just keeps twisting the blade in. It's a great movie, guys. One of the things it's known for is one of its most amazing fight scenes, which I think was done in one take down a hallway, and it's been copied 1,000 times since. The twisted story. Oh, I mean, there's nothing you could see on the screen brutality-wise that matches the thought and the mental stunts that you go through when you see the twist. It's great. It's a great movie. It is in Korean, so you'll have to read a little unless you want to dub. But I hate people who dub. It doesn't make any sense. It makes you watch the characters, anyway, it just irritates me. Anyway, Old Boy, I gave 5 out of 5. I would have given 5 out of 5 out of 10 years ago. I think it's a great movie. Next one I watched was Speak No Evil. I thought this was another great one. You're going to see I give high scores most of the time because I really like movies and I love movies and I like that people put time and effort into doing them. Something has to be a real piece of garbage for me to give it 1 or 2. And you might see 1 in here. But yeah, it has to be a real piece of crap. Because I always give credit where credit's due. But Speak No Evil, 4 out of 5. Amazing twisted storyline, just like Old Boy. It's basically, a couple that meets another couple on holiday, and they end up going to the other couple's house to spend some time there. And that couple turns out to be something they didn't know, and I'm not going to ruin anything else. But one of the best lines in the movie. is because I can't. I was going to say it, but I'm not going to say. I'm not going to ruin it. There's a great line at the end of the movie, or near the end of the movie, that the villain says to one of the characters. But yeah, Speak No Evil is really good. This is the remake of the one that I think is the Danish one. I think it was Danish. And this one I like. The other one, I guess, is really even more brutally honest and twisting. But anyway, Escape from LA, I was talking about it online on my Division 2 stream the other week, I think, well, whenever January was. And we got to talking about the Escape from New York and LA movies, because the music in the Division 2 reminds me a lot of John Carpenter's music. And I said, yeah, I'll give it another watch. It was all right. But I mean, there's so many. Did I leave a review on here? I thought I thought I left a review on here. Oh yeah, it is what it is. Some of the choices Carpenter made in this film are confusing, but it's still a Carpenter centerpiece. It is. Russell chews all the scenery. The FX are still iffy. Practical should have been the king. It should have been. That surfboard scene, man, you can't watch that again. Once you've seen it, it's like, I can't see this again. Please don't let my eyes see this. But yeah, I gave it 3 out of 4. New York is so much better. It's not bad for a Carpenter film in the late date there when he started making, some kind of sloshy type stuff. But anyway, the next one is The Woman in Red. Of course, I'm a huge Gene Wilder fan, giant Gene Wilder fan. I love Gene Wilder. And I wanted to show my kids The Woman in Red. Kind of a silly 80s cheesy movie. When I watched it again for like the 4th time, this time I was kind of like, yeah, it is kind of cheesy, but Gilda Radner and Gene Wilder together, you just can't beat it. And there's some silly stuff in it. There's some heartbreaking stuff in it too, pertaining to other people in the cast. But you just kind of sit with it, and it's really good. And it's good for people who probably saw it in the 80s that still like it. I don't know if anybody now would really care for it. The next one was Memories of Murder. I was going to say, did I write anything? Because I forget that I do some reviews. I do some reviews. I sound so stupid. Memories of Murder. Okay, this was another one of my sons, and this was a Korean movie, and this was about a true case of I think, kidnapping, if I remember right. Anyway, it's so good. And the one guy just jumps up. He'll just be sitting there. He's a cop, and he'll just be sitting there, and he'll just jump up from a table and like drop kick somebody in front of him. He's just so amazing. It's so good. And I don't know how, somebody else said on Letterboxd, I don't know how they kept this movie to be about what it was, which was a really horrible kidnapping or whatever. Because I can't remember exactly what it was, murder, kidnapping. So that's why I'm saying whatever. But yeah, it was so good. So good. And they kept it, like I said, there was comedy in it too. I think I dropped kicking people, and I just can't believe they were able to keep that in there and still keep the same tone of this horrible, Zodiac killer type thing, whatever. Anyway, it's a really good movie. I really liked it. And it was the first time I ever saw it. The next one was my daughter's pick, Shiva Baby. Really good movie. I love movies that take place in the same place, like Castaway and Buried and stuff like that, where The Rope by Alfred Hitchcock, where everything takes place in the same room or in the same centerpiece. What's the one I watched? Like The Terminal, which will be coming up, where it all takes place in that one place of the terminal, the airport terminal. And this was the same way it took place at a Shiva. And the girl that's in it is brilliant. She's very funny. The whole movie's pretty funny, and it's pretty ironic. And it's one of those very independent, kind of Hollywood hands-off movies, which I like. Tells a good story, and it tells a lot about people. And I really liked it. It's called Shiva Baby. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next one was The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That was my pick. Hadn't seen it in a while, and I wanted my kids to see it, the real one, not the American one. The one starring my girl, my love. Sorry. My love, what the hell's her name? Now I keep thinking Rooney Mara, but that's who played it in the American version. Naomi Rapace. Oh, I'm so in love with her. Oh, I'm getting shivers right now. Anyhow, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the one with, I just said her damn name with Rapace, Naomi Rapace. Is that her name? I don't know. I gotta look and see now. Anyway, all right. But anyway, it's a great movie. Check it out. Be sure to watch it in the foreign language with the subtitles. But it's a great movie about a woman who's a kind of a writer, a journalistic revolutionary, and catches all these criminals and writes about them and stuff, and helps this guy catch a criminal. There's a very brutal scene in it, but she gets her winnings at the end. But it's a great movie. It really is. And it's worth spending the 3 hours on. I had them watch the theatrical cut because we start to complain when it gets after 2 hours. Yeah, but it's great. The original one, watch it. The next one up was The Terminal. My son had never seen it, so he wanted to watch that. I've seen it before. I love it. It's a great movie. I forgot how much I really did love it, how great Tom Hanks used to be. Not that he isn't now. It's just stuff's gotten in the way. But The Terminal, of course, it's, him spending months on end because his country becomes not a country anymore. So he has to stay in the terminal, the airport terminal. He can't go out on U.S. grounds for like months, and I forget how long it is exactly, but it's a great, very inspiring story. Very, very inspiring story. And it is true. I don't know how much everything in it's true, but it is true. All right, guys. Well, that's it for that. We'll get to some February stuff, which is a little bit better this year, we hope. Yeah, we'll see that at the end of February here, beginning of March, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. Thanks for joining me. I am the Media Junkie. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please, please, please share me with your family, friends, and foes. The Media Junkie is all one word. It's all lowercase. You just type it into your favorite search engine. YouTube, Google, or Rumble, and bada bing, bada boom, bada bang, there's my channel. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope this won't be this long, but who gives a shit? It's my channel, right?